What up, baby? Episode 7 of the Vinnie and Will Show. Damn, Vinnie. We
Crazy.
are just racking them up.
Like it's going fast.
Yeah, man. And you know what? Vinnie is our guy that recruits the guys that come in and brings guys into the show. And he keeps bringing in guys, man, that we have ties with. Another guy, man, that, hey, you know what? I used to hold the same clipboard as this guy. Now he's holding the clipboard as the DC for the shotguns, and we got our boys, Coach Bence.
How you doing, guys? How you
What's
doing?
up?
Hey,
What's
hey,
up?
hey.
Happy to have you.
What's going on, brother?
All
Yo,
good, all good.
so let me give you guys a little Phil backstory on Coach Bence. He's born in Hungary. He's playing this game, man, and he's learning about it in Hungary. Then he moves to Belgium. He becomes a star player, man, and he does his thing. He travels abroad. Now he's going to tell us his story. So, hey, Bence, bro, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on, brother.
Thank you to invite me. I really appreciate that. It's a fucking awesome show, so I can be just happy to be in here and give my story to you guys and to everybody or anybody who wants to hear or just listen in.
You know, thanks, brother. And you know what? Your story is unique because when we talk with Vinny, Vinny's American, born in Belgium. He has American parents and stuff like that. So he has that tie, right, to American football. When you have no ties. You really
No,
like literally like, bro, you probably watched it on TV and you were like, oh, that looks cool. Bam, I'm gonna start playing. So,
that not even like that happened. So yeah,
you
I was
know,
just invited for some background football, so this is how it started.
all right. So give us your story, man. Where does your story start?
We started it in 2007. It was a couple of friends of mine and me, and they just asked me, "Do you want to come out at some Saturday night, Saturday evening, or just an afternoon to play to do something?" I'm like, "What are we gonna do?" He says, "Like American football." I have no idea what is that is, but just let's do that. And we basically started like a flag-ish, something-ish football. We just be there, run some routes, throw some football, see who can fit whatever. And this is how it started. And then that was my senior year of the high school. So I looked around in Hungary, like which city has a good university and where I can have access to American football. And then I just choose one Veszprém, the Universitas of Veszprém, and then I just went to there and I started playing over there.
So you go to college. Where do you start playing, man? Where?
It was in the same city where I choose the college. It was Veszprém Wildfires. It called that team. At the moment, it was. I'm not sure about it. It was Division Two or Division One team in Hungary, I believe. So it was Division Two team. It was also kind of a small team, but we did our practices every twice a week, and then this is how it started. We doesn't even have a real coach at the moment. We have two guys on the team who kind of know what they have to
Yeah,
do, and they just give us like, okay, you stand here, you do this. Yeah, we
Yeah.
doesn't even have a real explanation about reading keys or how you have to move or etc etc. We just went out there in full pads. We did a little bit of warm up, then we just smack our asses for like an hour.
hey, you know what, Vinny? Vinny has a lot of experience in this, right? This is what you call a grassroots team over there. It's
Yeah.
just guys that are like, senior on the team that can give you advice and they say, hey,
Yeah.
this is the way I did it. So it works for me, so it should work for you. But I'd be
Exactly.
like, and that's the tough part when you go to a grassroots team, right? With no coaching, no nothing like that. And I'm gonna ask you like this, Bence, because you were there for a minute. And most guys, bro, their knees give out after like a couple years. You got your ankles taped up, you got your knees taped up, you got elbows, you got everything taped up. Bro, how did you last that amount of time on a small team like that. I'd be like, you said, the wear and tear on your body, bro. You just basically showed up to warm up. It's just lock up and smack pads.
It's for me was a little bit different because I did sport since I'm four, and I started American football at 18. Yeah, so I did judo and a little bit of other martial arts. I did a little bit of soccer when I was in high school, but it was not a thing for me, you know. But I find a love in American football. I just went over there, but my body was kind of trained during that 14, 15 years of training. Yeah. So when I was kid, my week looked like Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 5 to 7. We got judo with my brother. My dad was also in a judo club, so he got black belt at the end of our journey. And me and my brother, we got brown belt from judo in the end of our journey. Yeah. And then on Tuesday and Thursday, we got swimming classes. So that's also helped a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
very good
because of the,
for the muscles and developing that.
yes, exactly. And the judo particularly came good because in judo is basically the main point, the main teaching of the judo, how you use the the opposite guy
Yeah,
balance or moving energy to help you out to move him
yeah.
actually. So I just implanted this to the football because I know how I have to move that math with his own energy. So it came out good. That's why I became defender. So and I was fast, so they just put me on the back as a safety, and this is it. This is how it went.
How popular was Hungary, like was football in Hungary back then? Because we're talking 2007, 2008. So
To
I feel like for Europe it was probably still developing, but I feel like Hungary does have some football culture.
at the moment, Hungary well had a football culture. In 2007, I believe so. We got two or three leagues, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
On the first league, we had four or five team, kind of, maybe three. There was
Oh,
Győr Sharks, Budapest Wolves, Debrecen Gladiators that I know, and then on the second league we have maybe five or six. So it
mm-hmm.
wasn't that big. It wasn't that big. And in 2007, we're still talking about Power Eye, just run and
Yeah,
smack asses with big
yeah,
bags. Yeah, with big motherfucking bags. So that's why I get to use to get the legs as a safety. Like without legs, you cannot run, and I'm not gonna hit like a
true.
100 or 110 kilo guy on the top of his shoulder. It ain't not gonna work for me. But yeah, this is it. This is how was it. And then later on during the time, I believe so, the peak of the American football, or when it started to say the peak, it was after like 14 or 15, something like when they started to prioritize the Division One, and
Mm-hmm.
they renamed the Division One to HFL, like Hungarian Football League, and that was the highest then, and there was, I believe so, like six team in it, and this is how it went.
All right, so it grew a lot in a short time.
Yes, yes, because on that time we had, I mean, as a players, we had a kind of culture, that was a different generation, not like
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Yep.
We grew up in a different time, and we had determination. We just wanted to play, and we just wanted
Yeah.
to win. So let's say in between 2007 and 2012, maybe our
Mm-hmm.
practices in the lower leagues look like 10, 15 guys, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like background style. We had a field, a rented field where we can train, but it was not just like when I went to Budapest in the capital city with the Rebels and with the Cowbells. With the Cowbells, at the point where it was 2014, 15, we almost had like 100 guys in practice. And we got a girl team and everything. It was
That's
crazy though.
crazy.
It was
Yeah,
crazy.
I can
Field.
imagine.
We got five coaches. We got a Belgian Turkish guy, Karim, who played in Belgium in the 90s or something. So then we got a coach from Canada who is played in a Canadian university, American football. He was Andre Bino. And then we got a coach from Mexico, Coach Sergio, stuff like it was crazy though. We got a lot of people over there.
That's good for the growth of the game, though.
Yeah. You guys with the Belgian team wasn't there because Hungary played with the national team against the Belgian national team.
Yep.
And once in Hungary, once in Belgium, right?
I was there at the game in Belgium, not in Hungary.
But yeah, I know that one. I didn't remember that you were there in Hungary because on that one I didn't
No,
know
no, no.
anybody from Belgium. That was a
I
different
didn't.
time. Yeah.
I know for a fact because the year that we played in Belgium against Hungary was my first year being on the national team. So.
Okay. Then it makes sense. So anyhow, in Hungary we played in Székesfehérvár, which is a little bit away from the capital city.
Mm-hmm.
Where is
They
that
had
again? Can you say that
Széke
again?
Székesfehérvár.
We're not even gonna try that.
Is if I wanna translate it, it's like White Castle with stools. That's the
What?
name. White Castle with stools. Yeah, that's Székesfehérvár.
Oh, damn.
So
All
anyhow,
right.
but when we played with the final, with the championship final with the HFL team, we played in a big stadium where like 10,000 people and big
Crazy.
motherfucking screens and everything. It was dope. It was
I can
dope. You got
imagine.
your
I
own
can
locker
imagine.
room. You got a drum band before it, halftime show, everything. It's crazy. That
Must
was
be
the
nice.
peak. That was the peak. And you can imagine that after like you being playing in a big stadium and stuff like that, even if you here in Hungary, you got a feeling, you got everything coming in, all of the emotions, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after that, you sign here to Belgium, come over here and playing like a way smaller team in a way smaller league, and etc. etc. Yeah, I'm not saying it was kind of like a shock, but it was just a different. It was just different. It felt like I just dropped back a bit with the time, when
Mm-hmm.
we just did the same
Yeah.
thing back in the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that.
So let me ask you this, Vince. You said you moved around, you went to other teams, you obviously played in the HFL. You had a learning experience, man. You spent time with Adam Rita
Yes,
and with Tony Simmons.
yes,
Bro, that's like getting a PhD in football in Hungary, right?
yes.
Because
I
those
I
two
was
guys
I was
have a
pretty
reputation,
lucky.
bro.
I was pretty lucky because at the moment we played with me and my brother and a couple of our friends from Szeged. We played with Békés Csaba Raptors, and the Raptors had a couple of guys who got money, and they just wanted to win that division where they were in it. So they invested to coaches, not players, which I still think is the best way to teach football in Europe. To let's say in this way, yeah, you can call imports, which is basically a band-aid to your problem as
Yeah.
a team,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
can call a coach, you can hire a coach, which is actually the medicine for
It
your
is.
problem.
Yep.
And but back to that one, and one of the years they signed Tony Touchdown Simmons. I believe so. He played for Wisconsin, and he was with the Patriots under Bill Belichick in the early days, but he ate less a lot. But anyhow, he came to there, and it was like a shock, like in the edge of Hungary, in the nowhere of Middle Europe. Yeah, it's just like a big black dude. Yeah, it's like,
It's
he
like
was a
some
receiver.
American
Yeah,
shocker. He's like big black guy in Hungary.
I wasn't shocked because I watched a lot of like I'm a hip hop guy, so the hip hop
Yeah.
culture is it was a lot of like guys, but still, yeah, he coming over there and actually see how is like a guy look like who played this as a
Mm-hmm.
professional. Like
Yep.
his size was double as mine. I did a lot of sports, yeah, so I'm a tall, I'm not saying a skinny guy. Yeah, I got my own muscle and
Yeah.
everything, but realizing that he's like double of me, I'm like, motherfucker, you big. And the funny thing was, which was pointed out by my dad on a game, that he doesn't want to play with us but once, because it was emergency, played one kickoff play. And my father pointed out to me that he was way different than the other players on the field, because even at the end of his his route, yeah, when he almost catch the returner, he was still accelerating within that
Mm-hmm.
30, 40, 50 yards, yeah. And like some of the players, they were dead after 10 yards, yeah, because we still, it's European football, it's Hungarian football. Everybody is working during the
Yeah.
day, and they just, if they came to practice, they did whatever they can. But my point is, in Europe, yeah, the biggest thing with 90% of the people, they cannot even run properly. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they
True.
had goofy runs, they have no muscles at point, no
Unathletic.
balance,
Yep.
nothing. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Very
serious.
true.
I'm
Yeah, yeah, but that's
serious.
true.
Let's be real, Bence. This is what happens when you practice twice a week
Hmm.
and the sport is not professional and it's not paying people enough to sustain a family household. You know,
True.
they're literally looking at the local butcher and
Hmm.
the guy that cleans the porta johns on the weekend to
Hmm.
come and play like left tackle. You know the
Yeah.
you know, hey, bro, I was recruiting people at the grocery store. Hey,
Hmm.
bro, you're big as fuck. You should play football.
I'm
But
telling you, I had a teammate in Budapest who was a graveyard guy.
you see,
We
that's
called
what I'm
them
saying.
graveyard, and he was a Olay. He was a big dude. He was a graveyard guy.
Hey,
That's
when
an
I
awesome
saw a
job, man.
grandpa suit up one day, bro, and I was like, bro, they got a player that's like 55. Oh yeah, he's gonna
Hmm.
play. I said, bro, tough
But
time, tough
Was it
time.
in
it's funny
Belgium?
because some of the players are still capable to do that. Like with the Cowboys, I had a teammate slash friend. He was our running back, and at that time he was close to 40. Yeah, and that dude, he was a wrestler guy, a Hungarian champion wrestler guy. He looked like a Hungarian beast mode. Seriously, he was big. If he run, people just popping off like a pinball. About it, it was crazy. And after he retired from football, in a couple of last year, he won two world title as a wrestler
Yeah.
in a seniors. So he's still doing his own thing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So let me ask you this, Benz. You have actually won two HFL titles. You
Yes.
have won two of them. What did that organization do in your mind that kept that organization at that level? Because that's a good organization with the Cowbells. They always
Hmm.
got guys that are competitive and they send guys abroad. What is it that that program does so well that has been able to maintain that and gave you guys the ability to win back-to-back championships in Hungary?
Uh, First of all, I believe so. The group of the men who are basically was the cowboys at the beginning. Like, I can say that from that cowboys, from like 10, 15, 20-ish guy, we still have a group chat. Yeah, after 10, 15 years, and we're just still talking every day. Second of all, the coaching group, because they put a lot of work and money into it. But the determination also, like at that point, basically the whole team is trained by individually. Like, I can say that I train 7 days from a week at the gym. Then we had two practices during the
Mm-hmm.
week, which was 2 hours. Yeah. So my day looked like I woke up at 4, I leave my house at 5, I was in the gym at 6, I finished at the gym 8, I went to work from 9, I finished at 6, then I went to home or I went to practice, then I was after the practice I was home at 11, then I woke up again 4 a.m., went to the gym.
So
The life.
basically, you guys established a culture. You guys,
Exactly.
and this is where, in the previous episodes, we talked with Coach Kino or Kano.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I asked him, hey, because he's coaching on the national team for the Barbarians. And I said, hey, how often should I be working out or taking care of myself if I want to play on if I want to play for you? What did he say, Vinny? Hey,
6.
6 days a week you should be working out. Rest one day. I get that you don't have practice but twice a week, but you
Mhm.
have to maintain that body. And that's what you were doing, right? You were doing all the extra stuff. And when you guys established that core group,
Mm-hmm.
you push each other where you go like,
Yes,
hey, bro,
exactly.
like, hey, why are you not in the gym?
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't see you today. Things like that. And I think that's a big key to changing teams. Now, let me ask you this, Benz. How do you do that? Because you know what? We've been on a lot of teams, and
Mm-hmm.
it's very, very difficult to get guys to buy into that level. To be like,
Yeah.
hey, you know what? What is it do you think that teams have to do in order to establish the buy-in from those players? And I'll ask Vinny the same thing because I know Vinny does the workout thing, and I know that he's been on a lot of teams. And I don't know if you've even had the experience of that where the whole team has bought in and done that.
I had the
Okay.
first year when we were all together at the Shotguns. I think that team that we had was all guys with a lot of talent and a lot of guys that wanted to show off for certain reasons. There was people that just wanted to play good to have tape to get to college. There were guys that just wanted to become champions. There was multiple reasons, but we all wanted the same goal and we all wanted to win that championship. We were a bit unlucky with our quarterback getting injured and having starters getting injured by the end of the season. So I think that kind of killed it for us, and also some some referees in the semifinals kind of
Yeah.
didn't help us. But I think we should have won that championship that year. I'm pretty sure if our quarterback didn't go out, we would have. But I think that's the first and probably the only time that I can remember, at least, that the entire team bought into it. All these guys were going to the gym. All these guys were at practice. Some of these guys had to drive 3 hours to come to
Mm-hmm.
practice. They were far in the Netherlands and they still came almost every practice. So I think that's probably the best that I've had, that guys wanted to show up and work to get to that goal.
Yeah, exactly. But in my opinion, is you, you cannot find that people's, yeah, he that guy have to find in himself that he wants to play this,
Yeah,
and then he have to understand what it takes to play
exactly.
this
Yeah,
sport. Yeah,
yeah.
what you have to do to be able to play that sport in a high level. But it's another thing because some people just wanted to play this sport for fun,
Mm-hmm.
to take some time off from home or to get some photos on Instagram or on Facebook
Exactly.
or whatever.
The
You know what
Instagram
I'm
post.
saying? Like, exactly. So some people just not in that, but if you can find a group of men who they wanted to do that, then you
Yeah,
have a championship caliber team. It is
exactly.
what it is. And then you have also get to calculate the injuries, which is coming or not coming. Then the most important thing, even in NFL, is the referees, which is always killing the game and nobody get their asses. There is no ruling anything, yeah, about the referees. The referees is basically like the Vatican of the American football. Yeah, nobody can touch them.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
they decide something, and then oops, it wasn't it, but okay, it's my fault. Like I can say this from the last game from the shotguns. Yeah, one of our player was ejected because he did targeting with the top of his crown, so he got automatically was ejected. Then after the game on Monday, the ejection was lifted up, so it was declined, and the ref said, "Oh yeah, it wasn't that. Sorry, it's my bad. It's not gonna happen in next time." But still, I lost a player from the 20-man
Exactly.
rooster. Yeah, so
Yeah,
and I lost one of my starting defender. I have to replace him. Maybe a guy who is never was in a practice. He doesn't know nothing about my playbook, which is basically three plays. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
cannot go further because nobody on the practice. But then I have to put in, and it's automatically putting the the game in a bad way. Then
Mm-hmm.
he just say, "Okay, excuse me, it was my fault." I'm like, yeah, what the fuck does that
Well,
have to do with?
if we're talking about this season, we played the Tigers last game.
Mm-hmm.
We got beat up pretty bad, so I'm not gonna say that it made any difference. But the Tigers scored a touchdown where I was safety. I tackled the guy. The guy reached with his foot for the pylon. I pulled him back with the ball, so he'd never touched even the line. I
Mm-hmm.
tackled him out, but he kicked the pylon. The ref said it was a touchdown, and he even defended himself by saying, "Yeah, he touched the pylon." And I'm like, "He kicked the pylon." He's like, "Yeah, as long as you touch it, it's a touchdown." I'm like, "Bro, what the fuck are we even
Whoa,
doing
whoa,
here?"
whoa, whoa, whoa. And then this
Ex-
is,
I'm
you
I'm
know,
not even kidding.
yeah, and that's a difficult part, right? Where you have to deal with referees and stuff like that are not educated.
Hmm.
And that's where we have to look at it in the leagues. This is where we've talked about it, Benz. And that'd be like, in your opinion, this is something that the leagues have to structure. There
Mm-hmm.
has to be structure. There
Yeah.
has to be ways. So how do you do it, Benz? How do you build a successful league? What structure do you have to implement? What do you have to do? We've talked about it with Vinny. Vinny has said, hey, we're looking at reducing the number of teams that can play at the highest level per province. So that way, they have an allotment of players that they can pick from. You can have a bunch of sub junior teams that
Yep.
are
Mm-hmm.
still represented by their local communities. But the big team, as in the grown up team, should only have a certain amount of teams per area or per capita
Yeah.
at least
Exactly.
in order to
Exactly.
sustain
So you don't
that.
take
And
away
then you
players from
have to
other
bring
teams.
in quality coaching. We've talked
Yeah,
about
that's the
bringing
most
in,
important
because
part.
that helps you because you only have
Mm-hmm.
a certain amount of teams.
Yep.
Instead of having 55 teams at every fucking level, you have a certain level, and then you say, hey, the top team should have at least a really good coach that they bring in to
Yeah.
establish their culture. We've
Yep.
also talked about
Exactly.
how coaches should not be just 1 year gigs, that
Yep.
coaches should
Exactly.
have multiple year gigs. So go ahead, man. Hit us with your thoughts, Spence.
So first of all, if we talk about the leagues, yeah, and then we go to the teams, okay? The leagues, I believe so, have to be led by a person who is educated by sport managing or whatever, okay? So he knows what is he doing with the league or with the team, and then he have to be surrounded within couple of levels some also educated peoples about the sport, about management, about managing things, about a commercial team or something.
Yep.
And like in Hungary, in a university system, give you points for different type of sports. Okay, and you can get also in Hungary for couple of points for being a Hungarian champion. Yeah, so when you try to go to university, yeah, after your high school, you get your exams and you get some points for it. And when you reach some type of points, you are able to do for different type of universities. Okay,
Okay.
so let's say I want to be a sport manager. Okay, I have to do different exams on a high school. Then I have for that different type of points, and with added these points, let's say, okay, you got 200 points. Okay, but for to be able to choose that type of managing way of courses in a university, let's say you need 220 points, then you cannot be there, so you have to choose another way. Okay, but if
Really
your
interesting.
points is, because it's changing every year, yeah, if your points is 200 but it's needed to be on the next year 180, then you can go to that
Mm-hmm.
one. Okay, so it, what I'm saying this is that they find a way to put the younglings into the game and into the education system with the school and with the
Mm-hmm.
sport together, so it
That's good.
it can be a way to give a good commercial to the game also, you know.
Yep.
Then you have to find the way, where is your channel to give that commercial to the people. Is it internet? Is it a television? Is it radio? Is it paper or whatever? Yeah. And then Hungary is also making a lot of open days, yeah, for football. Let's say you got sport days during the summer, so we put like little
Yeah.
tents over there where you can try out the sport. Okay, then we or the guys back in there, they also doing tryout days. Okay, so let's say with the cowbells in this like 2 months ago or a month ago, it was 500 emails for the tryout
That's
and
crazy.
came like 100-ish guy or something. So then you have a deep, let's say a bench, you know, where you can dig out your players,
Yeah.
which level you can put that player, is he did any type of sport, if he didn't do any type of sport. Then it coming again back down to the teams then, okay? What you need as a team, you need a core player group who are, let's say in a way, addicted to football, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because you need some addiction to the football, otherwise you
Yeah,
cannot do that. Yeah, you got
Yep.
pain,
you
you
gotta
have
love the
to
game.
do
Yep.
exactly. Then you have to find this. Then you need the coaches. Like my father told me, you have to, if you want to find a good team, you have to look for different type of players by position. Yeah, different type of peoples, like what they did in the background. Like, let's say in a way, we had linebackers. Yeah, they did wrestling, judo, any type of of of
Yep.
contact sport, which is about to put the people away or put the people away from his feet. Okay, I
Yeah.
had a friend who played quarterback. Okay, but back in his days, he did handball. Okay, so I never saw anybody in a whole earth when he did a rollout to the right. Yeah, he throw his 60-yard dots with the right hand. Yeah, when he got a rollout to the left, he
With the
throw the
left.
dots to the
Yeah.
same with the left. And I'm standing over
Yeah.
there and I'm like, motherfucker, how do you do that? And he just did handball. Yeah, that's all. Receivers. Yeah, look around on a basketball field. Yeah, simple as that. This is how I think you can build up something. And again, then you need the luck and etc. A lot of things is it's like a machine. If you can put all of the pieces together, bam, you won the championship. Yeah. But if any of the little pieces are not working, or that's a little sand piece in a whole
Mm-hmm.
machine, yeah, you fucked up. Same as you mentioned about the quarterback situation when we were together in a shotgun. The quarterback torn his Achilles in a second or in a third game
Yeah.
or something like
Yeah.
that.
The third game.
And
Yeah.
since that moment, the whole team was fucked up. Yeah, if you
Yep.
lose your quarterback, you fucked up, especially if it's an import player. Yeah, because you sign an import player for the special position because you have nobody over there to play that position well
Mm-hmm.
or at the same level what you wanted to play the
Yep.
whole team. So
Mm-hmm.
it
True.
is what it is.
It is.
No, and I agree with that. And I'd be like, let me ask you about that, Benz. Why is it that um, teams don't look to develop and grow their own homegrown players? We've talked about it. They want to add put frosting on shit. You know,
Mm,
like basically when we talk about an import player, it should be the frosting on the base of your cake, or you already have a base. You already have a
Mm-hmm.
strong core and and then
Yeah.
you're just looking for a guy to take you to help you give you that little bit of an
mm,
edge, get over
Yeah.
that hump, right? Not to just you're at the bottom with nothing and you bring this guy in and say, "Oh, you're an American import. You should be able to win a championship for us."
Exactly.
that's funny. I'm gonna split here in two way because I just know the story about the Cowboys in this year. Like 2 weeks ago, they have to call an import guy, an European import guy, and the players, couple of players, put the money together because one of the starting homegrown player, he just torn his ACL during the practice, and they had no backup, so they have to put somebody over there. So that was basically a band-aid, how I
Mhm.
said it. Yeah,
Crazy.
and as you said, Coach Will, that I don't know if I saw it on this show or in another show, but if you hire, let's say, an import, yeah, he have to be the messiah for the
Yep.
team. He have to win the championship for you, especially if it's an American quarterback. Yeah, he
Yep.
have
Yep.
to be the messiah. He have to do this, and then top of this, he has to train the other guys because he is a way much higher level in football knowledge with football IQ. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which is really low in overall in Europe, I believe. So there exist couple of country like Germany, Austria, Finland. What I know, they had also high level teams during on ELF seasons as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he have to be the messiah.
True.
So
It's very true.
let me ask you
This is
that,
how
man.
it
You
works.
said it. Why? And that'd be like you expect him to be the Messiah, right? You expect when you hire on a guy, and this is why we talk to all imports, right? You are literally going and they're asking you to coach, they're
Hmm.
asking you to play,
Hmm.
and if the team sucks, it's your fault.
Kinda, yes, yes, yes. I
I'd be
can
like, it's
agree with
because
that
you're not
because
doing
if
your job. But I'd be like, and this is the hard part, right? Like when we say Benz, because when you're expecting that from a guy, when all he's doing is signing a player contract, okay,
hmm
a player contract, I'm only expecting to play. I shouldn't have to coach the offensive line. I shouldn't have to coach the wide receivers.
hmm
Yep.
That's why you have coaches.
Exactly.
in a way, yes, in a way, but I can say that too is I think, yeah, is in my opinion, the American football supposed to be an adaptive sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
Offense is attacking the defense. Defense is trying to figure out what the fuck they're gonna do. I trying to, fool you and etc., right? And here in Europe, all of the team have coaches. Let's say that coaches played a little bit, yeah, but they still had their own
Yeah.
scheme. They still want to put a scheme into the team, yeah. And I told earlier when we worked together with Coach Will, like I hated the Patriots because it was the same thing when I saw when I was young the Formula One. Yeah, Michael Schumacher always won the Formula One.
Yep.
Yeah, nobody else won that.
Yep.
It was the same as Patriots, but
Yep.
I admire Coach Belichick because he was he was a mastermind about put different type of peoples in different position. Like I remember still a game when Julian Edelman was an outside linebacker. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? And he did his job. And then you can see the Fanhoy guy or a couple of Patriots player who just picked up from nowhere. He put in a position. He became a star. As soon as he left Patriots, he was again nobody. And this is how it's supposed to be in Europe. Like you call an import, okay? Let's say you call in a dual threat quarterback, okay? But you have a bad O-line and you have receivers who can't catch shit. Yeah, what you can do? It's not the quarterback fault, but
Oh.
he's supposed to be the messiah. And I'm standing on the sideline and I look to the quarterback. It's why the chain is not moving. Yeah, if you cannot throw to anybody, just run. Okay, but then coming into the thing, what I say, it have to be adaptive. Then the coaching group have to see, okay, if we do not have a receiver corp, let's say, who can catch deep balls, then we have to change to West Coast offense. But the West Coast offense, we don't need dual threat quarterback. Then we need
No.
a better running back group or whatever. Yeah, and this is what
Mm-hmm.
is not happening. You let's say you got a coach in a team who is downloaded his scheme, his playbook. He just know, okay, this is X here, this is O's there, and we running this, guys. Whatever the fuck
Mm-hmm.
is happening, we running this,
Yeah.
and he
They don't
calls the
adjust.
fifth wing T
Yeah.
play, yeah, at the same time because this is have to be working. If it's not working, you do not your job. You do not your
Yeah.
job. This is what
Yeah.
it is. And in
Yep.
the other hand, that's all. That's all of the coach fault because you have to do that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying this way because in the last game with the shotgun, soon as we started the game with three linemen, five linebacker, and three DBs, yeah? Then one lineman arrived during the first quarter, so I can go back to four linemen. Then we lost the linebacker guy who was ejected, so I went to five linemen, three linebackers, and then somebody got injured, so I have to pull out one lineman, then put in another DB. It was crazy, but it's about to being adaptive. Yeah, you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to do
Yeah.
it
what you
is.
have to do to keep the game alive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's not exist in a lot of places. The coaches just keep running the same shit. You have to do this. This is what we're doing,
Yeah.
and maybe he's able to explain to you what is the scheme about or how it works. Yeah, but if somebody is not figuring that out, he ain't gonna play. If it's a big team or if it's a good organization, yeah. But if it's a bad or small team, you're gonna play either way. Yeah, because we need bodies on the field.
Exactly.
But then it's gonna be a fucking chaos because half of the team don't know shit. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I during the game I told one guy that you done for the game, go into the locker room, you done. You can
Damn.
change your course, you're not gonna be on the field, yeah. He allowed like a 40-yard of pass or something, yeah. And that was not the point. The point was his attitude, his reaction of it, because you guys know me, I'm not really I think a bad guy. I got some type of attitude, but that's because I wanna get out the best from you, yeah. And I expect some things, but I'm teaching you in a way. But whatever, I told the guys like, look, you gone, yeah. And the next day he wrote me on WhatsApp and he asked me like, he sent me the video about the play and he has like, is it somebody supposed to be dropping, coach? I'm like, first of all, okay, hold on, yeah. Why we try to blame somebody else when clearly it was their fault? I know that I'm the coach, I know where you're supposed to be, whatever, yeah. And I asked him, like, who's supposed to be dropping? He's like, I don't know. Some of the linebackers. I'm like, okay, again, who's supposed to be running? Then just right now, open the fucking huddle or whatever and look it up. So you can give
Mm-hmm.
me an answer, yeah? Because right now he told me that he don't know who's supposed to be dropped, so he don't know the play.
He
I
doesn't know
got
the
three
playbook.
plays
Yeah,
in defense.
exactly.
I got three plays in defense because I cannot go further, yeah, because we got three, four,
Yeah.
5 guys in the practices. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I asked him, okay, this guy's supposed to be dropped. I can't blame the guy because he covered somebody else. Okay, it was on short field, not on deep one because he's supposed to be dropping deep, but whatever. Okay, but again, the pass went, and then you doesn't even in your side, and he's like, yeah, but if I know somebody is dropping, I know I have to be on the other side. I'm like, this is not how it works. You're supposed to be you're supposed to know which is the
What
strong
play you're
side.
doing?
So
Yeah.
you're supposed to be know where you have to drop. He's like,
Yeah.
I don't know what is the strong side, coach. I'm like,
Damn.
motherfucker, what are we talking about then? I'm like, okay, which is the strong side? I don't know, coach. Nobody called it. You the safety, you supposed to be know what is the strong side. And ain't that hard? I don't ask you like fucking atom physics or something because I got a clear rule about what is the strong side. Okay, if we are in the middle of the field, if we got single back, yeah, I call the strong side the opposite side of the running back. Okay, because he gonna give a hand, so it's gonna be cross
Yeah.
front of
Gotcha.
the quarterback. Okay, if we are any of the hashes, okay, then we call the wide side of the field strong side. Simple as that. Okay, if the running back is behind in pistol on a quarterback, okay, in single back formation, that and we are in the middle of the field, then I call the throwing arm, and this is it.
Yeah.
It's not hard. And Vinnie, you forget it this one what I said because we're still gonna meet within a couple of weeks.
They
Um,
can't remember the
it's
role.
I'm not even gonna lie. It doesn't. You could tell me the entire playbook. We're on the same level team wise, so it it won't really change that much.
So
I'm not
let me
gonna
ask
lie,
you
I'm
about
watching
that,
tape and I'm
okay?
laughing.
Let me ask
Yeah,
you guys
yeah.
about this,
It's
all
it's
right?
funny.
Now that we get into that, right? How hard is it, man? And Vinny, you are a player right now, so how hard is it when you are in your playbook and you know all your plays and the guy next to you, you can't trust? When you go out there, you can't trust that he knows his job. I'm going to ask you this as a player, like how hard is that?
It sucks because especially for me personally,
Yeah.
especially on the offensive side of the ball, just because when you're playing doubles, and one guy runs in his route completely wrong. He runs like in between the two DBs, so he the separation is gone, or he runs into you. So it's very annoying to have to deal with that because you want to focus on what you have to do, what your job is on the field. Same with if people ask you multiple things while getting out of the huddle. And I'm already not a model player to I know myself. I'm a guy that usually writes everything down on my wristband. So I always have a wristband around my belt that I can look at because I don't like studying. I know it. I usually only study in the beginning of the season and then all the rest I write down and I just look
Mm,
at it during the game. But I'm someone I'm a visual learner. So I had the same with it when I was playing at the shotguns. When we practiced, the first 5 practices, don't ask me what route I had on which play because I didn't know. But by the time the first game was there, I knew every route on every play that I had to run just
yeah.
because of practice. So that I do have to like I said, I'm not a model player for saying to guys that they
No.
have to study the playbook, but I am a visual learner, so it's the same with playing defense. I didn't know any defensive schemes before, and I just started playing defense, and you just honestly through experience playing offense anyway, you kind of start understanding defense, and then when you play it, it's easier for you to adjust to that, and so it wasn't for me. It's not that hard, especially at this level that we're playing. It's really not that hard, but it is annoying to see other guys, especially guys that you think that are already doing better in their careers, because we still have players that have been playing for multiple years now, and they still make big mistakes sometimes that you're very surprised by.
Mm,
And I'm not saying that I don't make mistakes, but it's like it's the type of mistakes that people make that sometimes still shock me.
Okay.
mm,
Now, Coach,
yeah.
I'm going to go with you as a
Mhm.
coach. Okay. As a coach, how hard is it for you putting players out there that you know can't do the job? I'll be like, and that's where it gets difficult, right? Because we get down to it, and you're saying sometimes you get a 20-man roster and they expect you to make gold out of
Shit.
copper, you know? I'll be like, so how hard is it for you when you put these game plans together and you go out there and your guys don't know it? There's it's difficult because there's limited guys in practice. There's limited guys on your roster. They don't show up to practice. You're not taking the extra time. How hard is it for you to put those guys out there knowing that they're not going to be successful?
It's it's really hard, especially if you love the football and you want to go somewhere with it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yep.
but it's at the point you have to just realize, okay, it's still a beer football, background football, and you just adapt to basically organize the sheep. Yeah, you the bell for the sheeps. Yeah, and like from last game, they had to screaming somebody in my defense was like, "Go start fucking 86." Yeah, go start fucking 86, and he put the arms like this up in the air, like, "What the fuck are you mean, coach?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, what are we talking about?" Yeah, I had uh I had youngling guys. If I sent him to the field, I have to give him a color code because he didn't know nothing about football. He played Madden. Yeah, so if I told him it's like, okay, left blue, he know he got a he
Okay.
got what he have to have. Okay, you
Well, it
got left,
works.
right, orange, yeah, or middle yellow. Then he know where he have to be. Yeah, but if I told him it's like, okay, you do money with the devil blitz, yeah, from the 4-2 front, he didn't know shit. He don't know it. But if you told him it's like blue left, he knows it. And this is how it works. You have to find a way how you communicate with your players, and every
Yep.
player is different. And
Yep.
if you can find it, then it's okay. And otherwise, it's going to be super hard. But this is the way to being a coach. This is the journey actually to being a coach, to find a way how you communicate down your thing to each other personal in every week when it's changing every 3 person, yeah, on the practice. And then you have to be put together like The defense, yeah, I put together always before the game during the indies, which is 20 minutes before the kickoff. So I put, I'm looking around. Yeah, it's like, okay, who's playing defense? Yeah, I'm looking around. Okay, I got you, you D line. Okay, I got you, you go to the linebacker. Okay, I got you, you go to DB. And that's all. This is how it works. And that's why I keep our playbook to 3 plays, because even that 3 plays is hard to understand for people. It's basic plays, yeah, in my opinion. It's basic plays like cover 3, cover 4, yeah, but still they don't know it, where they have to move, how they have to move, where they have to be. And then if somebody got injured or somebody got tired, then you have to look out for replacement. It's like, I look to the sideline. Okay, we got 9 offense guy because somebody have to play back and forth, offense, defense. Okay, I look over there. It's like who I can put in which position. Like, okay, I cannot put a receiver to the linebacker, so I have to change even the front or even something with the linebackers or the DBs. So figure that out. Okay, you in, and then during I'm screaming the whole shit to the defense, how we changing, what we changing, and then hopefully they will get it or not. Because the other thing, like small teams like that, you cannot adjust to the game. Maybe on a halftime, but otherwise you cannot adjust, because from the 11 guys, let's say you see on the sideline 8, because the rest of the 3 is playing back and forth. But if you can find how you can enjoy the game, then you're gonna be all right. But you're still gonna be fucking mad.
So, hey, let's talk about that, guys. When you guys have a team with a small roster and guys have to do multiple things, how do you adjust to that, man? I mean,
He
like,
broke up.
how do you make those adjustments as a
Probably. I
coach
lost him
and
too.
say, hey, you
Uh,
know, I know that you're going to go from linebacker
we
to
lost
defensive
you.
line. Oh, you lost me?
For
Yeah,
a
you were
second,
gone for like a
yes.
few seconds. Yep.
Oh, am I
So
back
if you
now,
can
guys?
restart that,
Yes.
yeah, you're back. If you
Yeah.
can
All
restart
right.
Just
that
start your
question.
question
So,
again.
hey,
Just start
so
your
my
question
question is
again.
this, okay, Bence? When you have that, where you have guys playing multiple levels on a small roster, you're going to have guys that don't know what's going on. Because I mean, like defensive linemen playing linebacker, it's night and day, right? And when you have those injuries, I know Vinny's going through the same situation on his team. You have to make changes to try to adapt to save the game, to stay in the game for your team to compete. That requires a high degree of studying from the players and a high degree of you wanting it, right? Because you have to study every position.
Mm.
When you look at that, how do you make your adjustments as a coach? Because I mean, like, you know, sometimes you said it. What happens when your offensive lineman or defensive lineman shows up 30 minutes late for the game? You know, how do you make those adjustments? I mean, especially because you know you have been practicing a certain way in a
Hmm.
certain, because you have a plan for this team. Now you have to adjust that way. How do you make that adjustment?
The thing is, while we're doing practices, I make, you know how I do drills, you know how I train guys. I always have a way, yeah, which is way much different than the rest of the guys. I'm watching a lot of videos about techniques, drills, etc. Sometimes I'm putting together in my head just before the practice while I'm cycling over there with my bicycle. But we always do warm up, then we do footwork. Yeah. So in this one, for the warm up, I also made a special type of warm up about it that helps the guys to be a better athlete, to get a better running form. Okay. And then after the footwork, yeah, I see who is able to move in a way and who's not. Okay, that already gives me some kind of look about it. Okay, this guy can, let's say somebody who cannot run and cannot do footwork, I can just put him in the front line, right? But somebody who got a good feet, or he's a speedy guy, I can use him in a backfield, right? And then we do offense and defense drill as well, sometimes the same together, sometimes separated. Like, let's say The last time I put from corpses a Z together, yeah, and one side of the Z it was a defense drill, so shuffle, um, squeezing, shuffle again, then end of it tackle, and where you tackle it from that side started the offense, which is run, break, run, and then you go upfield, and then you can catch the ball. So at the same time, I can see the two groups working, and I'm able to see that how the guys are moving, who are able to do this and that. Like I'm not gonna put into a defense a receiver guy who cannot hit, yeah. But if I see some of the receiver guy can hit, that I can let's say in a way trust on him that if I put him on a defense, he gonna make a stop in a way. Okay, and I think this is the way how you can look at it. Just be there all of the practices and walking with open eyes, yeah. But for that also have to be, you also have to have a football knowledge, a football IQ. You have to know something about the
Yeah.
sport. I'm not saying I'm the new Da Vinci of American football, you know what I mean? But I got 30 years sports in my back, yeah, different type of sports. If you and Vinnie know, yeah, if somebody got injured on the field, I run over there, yeah, I checked. Even if somebody was limping before the practice, I looked to the coach. It's like, look, he fucked up his ankle, and I asked her, what's wrong? It's like I fucked up my ankle, so I know your body. I know what's happening with you. Okay,
Sure.
and 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 this knowledge helps you to navigate in that chaos. Let's say in this way. Okay, I mean that's my opinion.
That's
No.
true. And I know for a fact because he taped me a lot before practices. He was
Yeah,
the guy that was
actually,
always taping me before the practices.
Actually, that taping and how I tie my knots on my shoes, I learned that from Tony Touchdown Simmons because he showed me how you're supposed to be. And this is the NFL way. I'm 100% sure about it because he showed me.
Oh
Well, it
man.
helped me. It had definitely helped me being able
Yeah,
to still practice on a fucked up ankle. So
yeah.
So
I was just, when I was played, I never had for a long time a real coach. As soon as I had a coach, I went to SpongeBob, and it's like, give me all of the information what you have. I want to learn. There was a camp in Hungary, the growth of the football or something. So there was the camp for Joe Thomas and people like that. Yeah, they came to Hungary with a big NFL group. Yeah, I
hmm
got the jersey in my back. Yeah, I got Austin Hooper. I got Tim Murray. Yeah, who is playing right now for the Colts. I got Todd Gurley autograph because they were all there. Yeah, they were over there. Safety for the Browns. Randall, I don't know what his name. I don't
hmm
remember. Yeah, I know his Instagram name was Randall Time or something, and he was a safety. And I just went over there and I stood next to them between the drills. Yeah, and I was like, okay, how you do this? What's your reading point on this? What you do this, that, how you do that? And sometimes he give me an answer which is I thought it's foolish, but he plays in NFL, so give me the info, and I'm
Exactly.
gonna do whatever I can do with it. And and
exactly.
and this is how it goes.
You there, Will?
I believe so. He's freezing a lot.
Yep.
Yep.
Maybe it's cold over there.
Yeah. It's just like it's catching up. Sorry guys. But hey, so I'm
You
gonna
good?
end it like this, Bets. We always ask this question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you believe an organization has to do in Europe in order to develop a great grassroots program and stay sustainable throughout the years? We always see these programs that are flash in the pan, that you get a bunch of imports and they come in one year, they win a championship, the next year they're gone, and they can't sustain any sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
So, what does a team have to do, in your opinion, in order to sustain and maintain a program in Europe?
First of all, I think there's two level of it. Okay, the first level is get a coach. Okay, but get
Yep.
a good coach, right? Because you still can hire some coaches who is just comes over here, show you a scheme. Okay, we're gonna run this and that, and that's all. You can hire coaches who cannot speak the European language, let's say in this way, okay? Because if you hire from somebody from the States as be our coach, yeah, he is coming with an attitude, he is coming with the culture and everything, but it's not
Yep.
exist here. Yeah. So you
Yep.
have to find a good coach who speaks your language, right?
Yep.
Your football language, your European football language. Okay.
Yep.
And another thing, what I think is really necessary is get a good youth program.
Yep.
Get a good youth
Agree.
program, which
Yep.
is gonna give you a good base on long term. This is what I think. Because if you got a
Agree.
good youth, yeah, you started with them on 16, they are still young, you can teach them how to run, you can teach a kind of type of attitude for the game, you can teach them how you have to be if you want to play that game. But if you don't have a good coach and a good youth program, I think you lost because then you're still band-aiding with the import and you're never going to win. Maybe you're going to win a championship, but then nothing
Yep.
further.
It
If you
doesn't
see
mean.
in this way, because you guys were here with me at that point, just look at the fucking Amsterdam Crusaders, okay? They got a couple of good coaches. They are over there from long term. This is also, don't
Yep.
forget this one. Yeah, get a good coach for long term because if
Yep.
let's say in this way, if you hire every year a new DC, every year you have to learn the new scheme, the new playbook, and everything. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. But if you have a coach for the long term, then you're good. And if you had a good youth program, which is give you the base of your football team, hallelujah. Then your team is working. It's maybe not going to work on the first year, on the second year, but on long term, let's say in this way, during on a 10 year, I guarantee you at least 2 championship win if you get
Yep.
a good coaches on long term and if you get a good youth program.
Agreed.
So, hey, Coach Bence, so our listeners can follow you. Where can they follow you at? I mean, like, are you on Instagram,
I'm on
Facebook?
I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. My Instagram, I can put it into your bio or in the Reels bio, but
Yeah,
it's
we will definitely,
Audi Dog.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's Audi Dog. It's kind of like a puzzle name because I like Audi. Okay, so I drive
Okay.
Audi. Okay,
Okay.
but I'm
That's
also
okay.
in let's say in this way with my old friends with a crew a group they called One Dog. Yeah, it's we always say everybody is the same one dog. Yeah, so I put together the two. It's like only one dog. But I will give you guys that one. You guys know that one. And in Facebook, you just put in my name, which is Bence Németh. Okay, that's a Hungarian name. I can give you that also because kind of hard to write it down or even remember on that one. The only thing what I always say is if I met somebody from the States or something, if you remember the Jets quarterback Joe Broadway, yeah, he got the same name as me, or I got the same name as him. The Namat and the Nemet is the same thing.
Joe. Okay.
You can
Okay.
look it up.
No,
I
we're gonna
believe
have
you.
to, man. Hey,
I'm not gonna look up Jets players. I don't give a fuck about Jets
the
players.
Jets. He said
I, I
the
I don't
Jets.
give a shit about the Jets too. Yeah, I don't give a shit about the Jets too. But when a quarterback in an NFL whose nickname is
I
Broadway and they
understand
got the
you.
same
Oh yeah,
name as you have to
it's
know this.
cool.
Like it's
Definitely.
like it's like when somebody call you, yeah, it's like Vincenzo Manning. You're gonna say like, oh yeah, I'm Manning too. Yeah, like yeah.
Vincenzo, man. Oh,
See what I'm saying? Like
Vincenzo Beckham. Vincenzo Beckham. There you go.
yeah,
I would be okay with that.
Oh man.
I
Well,
bet.
shoot, man. Coach Bence, thank you so much for joining us, man. We're going to follow your journey. We know that you're out there with the Limburg shotguns right now. You're doing your thing, teaching those young men and teaching them how to play this
Mm.
game. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. We'll keep watching from afar. Vinny, hey, brother, I cannot wait till the next one, man. We got some episodes, guys, coming down the pipe. We got what? Part two for our coach with the ELU. We got
Oh
Yep.
Gavin
yeah.
Campbell coming down the pipe, man. That he coaches
Yep.
down in Poland. We got our boy Riley Yodell coming up, a QB playing in
Yep.
Germany, man. We
We
got a lot
got
of guys coming
Jabari
up.
Harris coming up.
Oh, we got Jabari
Ooh,
coming in,
we got
We
some names.
Yeah, yeah, and
Ooh.
we also got some guys that we personally don't know that
Yeah,
are
hey,
getting
name drop
some
it. Name
getting
drop it.
some uh I don't even know the name. The name is Nick Alberto. He's a receiver. He played Division 3 college in the U.S. and has been playing in Europe for some time now. And
5 years.
he's been getting some recognition online, and it's gonna be a good conversation with a guy like that.
Absolutely. And you know what, guys? Coach Bence is also going to hook us up with some players that are coming straight out of Hungary. So
Oh
stay
yeah.
tuned, man. He said he got some guys up there, so we're going to line them up and we're going to knock them down. Until next time, man, make sure that you guys stay tuned in to the Vinnie and Will Show, where we bring you everything live and real in European football, baby. Hey, I'll see you next week, Vinnie.
God bless.
Thank you for calling, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.